significant amounts of cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, methamphetamines.
And I wish I could say that it's made a huge impact and everyone's going to win now, but that's just not the case.
A big drug bust that included search warrants in Ontario and Monroe counties, along with New York City, Connecticut, and Massachusetts.
Well over $100,000 worth of drugs were seized by local law enforcement, state police, and federal agencies.
New tonight, we're hearing from the Ontario County Sheriff about the investigation. News 10 NBC's Marcia Gustin joins us live from the Monroe County Jail, where the two suspects are being held. And Marcia, they're not going anywhere, right?
No, they are not, Brett. Ronaldo Suarez of Rochester and Oscar Alvarado of Greece are being held right here in the Monroe County Jail without bail. Law enforcement says this is a big win. The owner of a drug treatment center here in Rochester says this drug bust is not going to slow users down. 6 kilos of coke, 2 kilos of heroin and fentanyl, including hundreds of pills, 2 pounds of marijuana, guns, and more. Sheriff David Cirincione says this morphed into a huge, complicated investigation that led to the execution of 20 search warrants.
To seize 2 kilograms of heroin and fentanyl, you think of how little amount it takes to render someone unconscious and affect their breathing and stop their breathing. So by our estimation, we've saved dozens, if not hundreds of lives.
Sheriff Cirincione says these guys were very talented and ran a detail-oriented operation. He says they continue to respond to fatal overdoses on a regular basis.
We've removed a significant amount of drugs from the street before they could be sold or distributed to people in our community. And as we know, some of the people that are impacted by these drugs and that we see in overdoses are pretty young.
According to the Monroe County Opioid Overdose Dashboard, year-to-date, opioid deaths are 91. There have been 13 for the month of June and 4 week ending June 28th. Randy Semino, the president of the Gates to Recovery Addiction Treatment Center, says this is great work by law enforcement, but it will make little difference for drug users.
And the amount of drug dealers that we arrested is nothing. Let's look at it in the sense of how many pharmacies are in Rochester. If we lose 5 of them, would that hurt us? I would say no. And I'll tell you, when I was an active user for many years. I had at least 4 or 5 places that I could buy drugs. So this one falls off, the next one's picking it up.
He says the best impact for users is to find a solution for them. When users can't get the drug they want, he says they substitute it with the next one.
These men and women are starving themselves to buy the next bag. They're living on the streets. It's horrible. Animals don't live like this.
So what is the positive message?
The positive message is the police are not going to stop.
And that's what Sheriff Cirincione says. They will not stop. His words, you may not think we are on to you, but you never know. You may just be the people we are watching. Live in downtown Rochester, Marcia Gustin, News 10, NBC.